Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the 2019 World Ski and Snowboard Festival. We are so excited to be here for our 24th year here live in Whistler. Today is all about the Spakwa Ski Invitational. My name is Josh Visser, and I'm here joined alongside pro skier, judge, commentator Mike Shaw. Mike, welcome to the show.
Hey, Josh, it's great to be here, man.
We are so excited for all the events that are taking place this weekend. What are you looking forward to?
Well, of course, the main event right now tonight, Big Air, but this has been a jam-packed week here in Whistler. There's been so much going on all over the mountain that's been so much fun.
And of course, we pride ourselves with focusing on art, culture, music, and trying to bring sport all together for the final celebration. But we have had a special event to kick off the week. We're going to set it down to check out a little bit what happened at the JP Eau Claire event earlier this week. Our very first Big Air event here in 2000 is when we kicked off the Big Air, and of course it's taken different shapes and forms. We had the Monster Energy Shred Show in 2011, which is a big hit that a lot of the snowboarders hit, and it's kind of just transitioned to what we have now. Of course, the Big Air, it's the first time we've been broadcasted around the world, and we are so excited to be...
Tuck it and huck it. You heard it right here, guys.
Tuck it and huck it. I like that strategy. What's cool about the Yukon, you don't really think of the Yukon as a big skiing destination, but because it's so cold up there, they're able to blow a lot of snow and build some incredible terrain parks early season. A lot of the national team athletes head up there in end of November, early December. The first Canada Cup event of the season, a lot of these athletes training is up there. They close down the whole course. They've got snowmobile rides, and they basically just get as much training in before some of the big events like the Dew Tour. So these Yukon athletes, they start skiing almost sometimes as early as late October, Mike.
Yeah, it's
go right back to the top. Sarah Hoffland from Switzerland, Geneva. This is a very interesting story. So she grew up in the UK, basically grew up in her whole life. She was a skier, but she spent most of the time just on one-week ski vacations throughout the year with her family, never really got into the sport. And then she went into neuroscience undergrad degree. At this point, has still never competed in big air slopestyle. And then 3 years ago, she had an opportunity to join the Swiss slopestyle team, spent the year on the team. She took a win at the Olympics two years ago, and here she is, her very first time in Whistler. Sarah Hoffland, your Olympic champion on course.
there aren't a lot of like Cinderella stories like Sarah Hoffland. Most of these athletes work hard for years and years to develop their skills to put on such an impressive show of high-flying antics here tonight.
Well, let's pass it on down to Mercedes Nickel, who's down there with our current leader.
Thanks, guys. I am down here with Sarah. You are full of surprises. We're so happy that you're here tonight. We're really looking forward to seeing the rest of your runs. Good luck. Back to you, boys.
Well, thank you so much. It's so good to see. Like we said, Mike, she flew into Whistler on Thursday, and she's making an appearance, already sitting in the top. Sarah Hoffland, 165. Yuki Sabota, Margot Hackett, Elena Gaskill, and Megan Cressy. There's your top five right now. Tough competition thus far. Again, last year's winner, Elena Gaskill, not quite being able to put down the trick she's wanted, but still 2 more jumps to come.
She had that last one in the bag, though.
Let's talk to Alex Below-Marchand, currently sitting in the top spot. Philip Lonvine and Teal Harrell. 1, 2, 3. Noah Morrison sitting quite close on the podium spot, though.
It is tight in the men's contest here. Those scores are very close, with the exception of ABM, who's got the definitive lead. But
and Evan McEachran sitting down there in 8th place as well. We'll look for him to throw down something big. World Ski Snowboard Festival supported by the province of British Columbia. And of course, what a beautiful place. I can't think of a better scene than Whistler, BC to be able to throw this event. But a woman who has been at this event many times, she took home the 2018 Olympic gold medal in freestyle skiing halfpipe. It's Cassie Sharp. Cassie, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
You've been in so many events here in Whistler, and of course, you've competed, you've been a spectator. You're also a young Grom riding up and watching the sport yourself. What's it like to be back here and just hanging out and soaking in the good vibes?
I love it. This event is...
All right, well, we've got tons more action for the World Ski and Snowboard Festival, the 24th year, live in Whistler, right after this. There's a quick shot of the Monster Energy Border Style World Championships. Cassie, your brother Darcy Sharp was out here in the Big Air last night and competed in the finals today. How did you do?
I wish I could tell you. Last night in the Big Air, he got 4th. He did really well, landed a couple jumps. Today, I don't know. He went out there. I know he had a lot of fun, but I guess we'll have to find out on Instagram.
You could stay tuned, WSSF.com to find all of the action, all the events scheduled, of course, to see the results. But you grew up, of course, you and Darcy grew up over in Mount Washington. Your father was the resort manager, if I'm not mistaken.
Correct.
What was it like growing up with someone who's so involved in the ski community, basically? You probably grew up in his office, like slept and had naps while you were just a little baby, or what?
That was it. I mean, we started skiing when I was 10.
Dose.ca, your entertainment fix. Well, folks, what an incredible afternoon. We're so privileged and honored to have an Olympian, an Olympic gold medalist in our booth right now. Cassie Sharp, thank you so much for coming to the broadcast. Any final thoughts to the fans at home?
I mean, thanks for having me. I've been stoked to be here. The sun is out. I'm just looking to see the 5th jump and see these people put it down.
We keep talking, this event is so much more than just skiing. It's about art, it's about culture, it's about music. Where can we see you this tonight in Whistler? Are you going to be all over, going to all the events, Intersection?
All the events, Intersection, Sushi Village, the Longhorn. Let's go. It's just having a fun time.
The full Whistler tour. Well, Cassie, thank you so much for coming out, folks. We're just about to head into our 5th jump. Cassie Sharp, 2018 Olympic champion. Thank you for coming out. It's been so much fun to have you. And he climbs the ranking of 186.50, further solidifying his position, Mike, as the leader of the night, coming out, flying in from Quebec and showing the town just what he's got in his bag of tricks.
It warms my heart, Josh. It's so awesome to see them succeeding at this level.
Well, let's pass it down to Mercedes, who's down there with our winners.
Thank you, boys. I am down here with Sarah and Alex. Back to the boys.
Well, Mike, what an absolutely epic night. The sun came out and graced their presence right near the end. What an incredible show of men's and women's skiing at the Spotless Ski Invitational. Mike, what are your final thoughts?
It was unreal. All the competitors came out and put on such a show, but those 2 top spots, Alex Bayou-Marchand and Sarah Hofflin, absolutely doing it for us here in Whistler and around the world. Josh, it's been a pleasure being here.
Well, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, so much for tuning in around the world. We'll be back with more action from World Ski Snowboard Festival 2020. We say good night from Whistler, BC. Exciting thing, like you mentioned, is that we've got the rookies. We also have the veterans. We've got kids who've just started competing in the World Cup circuit last year. We also have the veterans. Like we mentioned, we've got Mark McMorris on here. So it's like a wide spectrum, and this event has given us opportunity to basically give everyone a chance to compete. But we'd like to add our 3rd member of our team. We're going to go down to the corral to meet Mercedes Nickel, 4-time Olympian. Mercedes, what's going on?
Hi,
Well, next up, we're going to shoot it right back to the top to Darcy Sharp. He took a 6th place in both big air and slopestyle in his very first X Games appearance in 2016. He started off here in the World Ski Snowboard Festival. He won the shred show years ago when we used to do the shred show, the big hip contest. He won that in 2012 and really kicked off his career.
Well, put him on the map, obviously. I mean, the monster.
Well, what an absolutely incredible feeling that must feel. Basically, it's the end of the season in Whistler. It's the biggest festival in world ski and snowboard history, and all your buddies are out here, your best friends, your family. Everyone's out here skiing together, riding together. And it's not individualistic. Everyone's stoked for each other, the family, the friends. Everyone's just like, it's the end of the season. Let's have a good time.
Well, there's no qualifications. We're not trying to qualify for an event. And as the boys said, everybody's dealing with the same conditions, but they grew up watching this event. So for them, it's full circle, right? You're watching at home. You're watching on VHS back in the day, which maybe for these
How
kids,
old are you, Tristan?
well, you just plug it in, and then you got to rewind it, and then it wears out eventually if you're watching the snowboard videos. But for a lot of the athletes back in the day before social media, that was what exposed you to this event way back in the the 90s and the early 2000s. So for those guys, they're out here, they're making it work. As I said, Canadians, action sport event, they go together. It's peanut butter and jam out there, everybody having a smile on their face. And again, there is a big prize at the end of the day. They're not just out here just for the sake of it. They're out here as well because there's some bragging rights going into the evening.
That is true. The other cool thing to mention is that it's basically the end of the season, but not only do we have the veterans, the youngsters, these are kids that are in their 16, 17, 18, 19 years of age, and they've watched McMorris, they've watched Darcy Sharp, they've watched these athletes basically grow in their career, and they came here when they're 10 years old, 12 years old, and watched these kids throw down, and now
they've launched their career here, right? I mean, you look at Darcy, the shred show back in the day, that was really what put him up there as established and make it happen. So right now, the youngsters, they're sitting up there in that 1 and 2 spot. I mean, they are the ones that are making the most amount of impact on this jump. But that being said, there's still 2 more jumps to go, and I think anything can come into play a little bit. I think if you're, like Mark, you just landed a jump, you landed it extremely well, there's some confidence that starts to build in that because you've been in that situation, whereas some of the youngsters, they haven't been in that before. They maybe start to doubt what their tricks are, start to doubt the jump a little bit and going, what do I have to do? What can I do? Maybe I can't do anything. You got to feed off of all those right, and the negative and positive energies to make sure you get that jump landed.
Especially someone like Mark who's got so much skill, 17 X Games medals under his belt. He's come here. He basically wakes up. It's like bread and butter. He just wakes up and heads to the top of the course, and he's just like, oh, I'll just go win. This is just another contest. But it's the night of the rookies. The kids coming from the U.S., coming from the East Coast, coming from the prairies, all over, coming together to join us in Whistler for the World Ski Snowboard Festival, the 24th year. What an epic contest. What are some of your highlights thus far, Max?
My highlights from tonight.
Highlights from tonight, highlights from the whole weekend being here.
Oh man, well first of all, the border style, super fun contest to do. And tonight, the big air, Mick Morris, triple cork, got it down, switch back 12. He's sitting second right now. We had actually many good tricks tonight, so